Alright, what I'm going to do today is make one of the car stands I need to get my car high enough off the ground to do some transmission work onto it. I'm going to make 4 of these in total. I am not going to bother showing you that process of all 4. It's a waste of time. You have to excuse the cars going by. Each one of these is going to be 12 by 14. And let me start by saying I am not an engineer. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please do not do anything I do. Just because I put a video on YouTube does not make me an expert and mean you should copy me. There has not been any stress tests done or load testing done on these, so I cannot be held responsible if you take it upon yourself to copy what I do. With that, you can make 4 of these stands with the current market price of lumber in my area at the beginning of April in 2023 for less than $85. You need 4 2x4x10s and 5 2x4x8s, a 5-pound box of 2.5-inch exterior grade screws, and I have a square, a couple of drills, a couple of different drill bits, and a little jig I made up to show me where to drill the holes. Each 2x4x10 gets cut into 8 14-inch pieces, and that will leave you with a waste piece of about 5.5 inches out of each one. That should be the only waste besides sawdust by the way I've designed these. The 2x4x8s, since they're 8 foot long, people think, oh, I can get 8 12-inch pieces out of each one. That's not true. Every time you make a cut, you lose about 1/8 of an inch of material because of the saw blade thickness. So you make 7 cuts across the 8 foot long piece, you have lost 7/8 of an inch, which means your last piece is going to be almost an inch short. Not a big deal because you could use it on the very top of the stand, which is basically just going to be a wheel chock to keep the tire from rolling off, but it just looks unprofessional. So what I did was I cut each 8-footer into 8, 11, and 7/8 inch pieces. So just make one measurement, 11 and 7/8, cut it exactly on the line, and then just use that piece as your guide to mark the other 7 pieces that you need. And you will get right to the very end and have no waste left over. So I have then went and made up this little jig, and that right here is 3.5 by 3.5, and that represents the cross section and overlay with a stopper, 3.5 this way and 3.5 this way, because the 2x4 that goes underneath it will be going in at this angle. So I can know where I can drill my holes and not worry about overlapping or the hole falling off or coming in line with another screw. So I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes on the ends of each one of these. You do not need to do the holes in the very bottom pieces, which I chose to use pressure treated for the very bottom because I'm going to be doing this outside, and that project for my transmission will probably take several weeks to do. And since they're going to be sitting on concrete outside for several days with rain and stuff, I figured pressure treated would be the best bet for that. So again, material list. I have a 5-pound box of 2.5-inch deck screws, 4 regular stud grade 2x4x10s, 4 regular stud grade 2x4x8s, and 1 pressure treated 2x4x8. And that will get you 4 stands for less than $85 at current market price with minimal waste. So I'm not going to film drilling all of these holes. I'll just go ahead and do it and then get back to you when I'm done. Okay, so I have all of the pieces pre-drilled to help avoid splitting. These are the 11 and 7/8 inch pieces. These 2 Down here are the 2 pressure treated that are going to go on the bottom. You don't need to drill all the way through them, obviously, because the screw is just going to go into them from above, not all the way through like the rest of them. I have now changed the drill bit to a little bit smaller and have set it up so that it, when it goes through, sorry about that, it sticks out the other side just enough to go into the board below it, to help keep that piece from splitting when a screw goes into it. So now I will get my base layer started, which will be these 2 on the very bottom, and then a 14-inch piece going across the 2 of them. And I will get 1 screw in each corner, and then I will square it up and then put the other screw in each corner. So there will be 2 screws in each corner total. I'll be right back. Alright, so I have the base layer started. I have 1 screw in each corner. I've checked it with a square, and it is square. So now what you do is you just take the drill, and I did this on each one of those screws, and just pre-drill it until the screw bottoms out, the drill bottoms out. Do that for the other 4 remaining holes. Put a screw in that so that there's 2 screws in each corner, and then just keep building up the layers. 11 7/8 inch pieces, 14-inch pieces, crisscrossing them until you get up to the very top. Alright, so there you go. That is the stand fully built. So like I said, you just do 1 course at a time. If you have the through holes pre-drilled, then when you do each layer, set 1 cross piece on, get it eyeballed and lined up by feel on the edges, and then hold it down with your one hand, and then using the other drill with the smaller bit in that you have set to just barely go through, use your other hand, and while holding it down, drill those 4 holes. And then put your screws in, and then do the other side. Line it up by eye and feel on each corner. Drill the 4 holes while holding it with one hand. Put the 4 screws in, and then you do the next layer. You would put the cross pieces on this way. And back and forth until you get all the layers done. And I said there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 layers. And this is where the tire will set. So this would be like the front of the car, and this would be the back of the car over here. And front of the car, back of the car, tire setting here, and these kind of act as the wheel chocks to keep it from rolling forward or back. So just got to build 4 of those. Each one probably takes, after pre-cutting the material, probably about 30 minutes to put together, so not too bad. And like I said, for less than $85 for 4 of them, you can't buy a set of race ramps for anywhere near that. So it's great for getting the cars up in the air, especially if you're doing body work, panel replacement, rust repair. So it's a little bit higher up off the garage floor, so that you can work on the rocker panels or lower quarters or fenders or doors without having to lay on the ground or whatever. You can get a little stool, a little easier on the back and knees. And when you're as old and fat as I am, every little bit helps, guys. So that's it for this time. Sorry I had to do this in stages and leave out most of the stuff, but my little GoPro camera, I haven't used it in so long, and I thought the batteries were good, but I only get about 2 minutes of charging out of a battery, even though they've been charging for several days, and the batteries die. So I guess I need to make other arrangements, either get new batteries or a holder for my cell phone that I'm using now that I can put on a tripod. It's just me by myself. I don't have a camera person, and just trying to entertain you guys and give you a little couple pieces of information if I possibly can. And if we all help each other out, it'd be a greater world. So that's all I got. See you next time. Thanks.